Good morning, everybody. My name is Newton from the Department of Fisheries, Myanmar, and one of the students of the graduate certificate in fish conservation and management. And the student ID number is 117502228. Today is the day to submit the assignment 2 of our graduate certificate in fish conservation and management class. Now I would like to present is the management plan for the Hilsa fish at Shanghai Slooks, Bagur region, Myanmar. Here I will present the introduction as mentioned in the first slides and the impact of Shanghai Slooks on Hilsa species, then the solving the challenges at Shanghai Slooks and establishing the monitoring program, then the conclusion. As the impact of the Shanghai Slooks on Hilsa fish is very effective for the protection of the fish sector. That is because Shanghai Slook is one of the barriers for the fish migration, especially for the dendroma species such as the Hilsa species, sea bass, and barramundi species. The Hilsa Myanmar name Ngatala is one of the favorite species for Myanmar people. The scientific name of the Hilsa is the Tenualusa elysia, and the FAO name is the Hilsa shet. The Tenualusa elysia Hilsa shet is named by the Hamilton 1822. And the Hilsa is one of the lucrative fish resources for export earnings. Hilsa is the major fish resources in the Bay of Bengal, and as you know, this migratory species is shared between multiple countries. The average size of the Hilsa is commonly 35 to 45 cm in length, and average weight is 1.5 to 2.5 kg. But sometimes it can be reached over 60 cm in length and over 4 kg in weight. And the morphology is the dorsal soft ribs are 80 to 21 and the inner soft ribs are 80 to 23. And the belly screws has width 30 to 33 screws. It from distant median notion about jaws. The gyricas fine and numerous, about 100 to 250 on lower part of arch. The color of the Hilsa is silver shoot with gold and purple, and they have it as marine pelagics and schooling and coastal waters. The Euryline, and it is also the anatroma species. So they come from seas to the freshwater to breed, and they can reach 1,200 km upstream of the rivers, but usually about 50 to 100 km. They feed plankton, mainly figs by feeder feedings, and also by grabbing on muddy bottoms. Diatoms, protozoans, crustaceans, mollusks, and tunicates are recorded. The spawning of the Hilsa is mainly in upstream of rivers and shallow waters, but younger fishes may breed in the tidal zone of the rivers. And also spawning season are during the southwest monsoons, and shorter season from January to February or March, but it can be varied from depends on the topography of riverine systems and the environmental conditions. The Hilsa can get the maturity in 1 or 2 years. The females of Hilsa grow faster and bigger than their males, and the fecundity is depending on the size, and it will vary from 0.5 to 2 millions. The spawning is on the base of the tributaries and the gravel and the sandy beach, and the larvae are floating and drift by the water current. Then the fingerlings and the juveniles are migrate to estuaries and marine environment for their life cycle complete. The age of 1 to 1.5 years are in riverine systems, and their lifespan of the Hilsa may be 4 to 8 years. We can see here, and the adult Hilsas upstreams migrate at the onset of the southwest monsoon, and the big fishing season are from September to November. They are very abundant at the local market. At that time, the Hilsa fishers are very happy to get a large amount There's a saying in Myanmar, it trusts Byadola Mai Nga Osai. It means that Byadola is the 10th of the Myanmar man and it is the same time with the October and November. At the time, the Hilsa fishes are caught in large amount by fishers and it is the peak season of the Hilsa. The juveniles of Hilsa is downstream migration at the March, April and May, and the larvae of Hilsa will migrate for downstreams with drifting by water current at the December, January and February. The finale of Hilsa 2.5 inches are caught in March at the upstream of Shanghai, one we surveyed at that time, and the juveniles 6 inches size can be caught at the June and August by the local fishermen. As I expressed at the first assignment 1, the Shanghai is on the Abya Shanghai streams, which is the tributary of the Sedong River. On the both sides of the Abya Shanghai streams, there are so many villages and residents of peoples. They are relying on the fisheries from the Abya Shanghai streams for the food and income. Although we didn't have clear the fishery data recorded from that area, the local fishers and the middlemen said that the production of the fisheries from the Shanghai stream is very lower than before the Shanghai sluice. Due to the Shanghai sluice, fish cannot migrate to the upstreams and cannot be caught large amount of fishes before. So the Shanghai sluice is very embedded on the fish species and Hilsa as well. The Shanghai is for the agriculture purpose and to prevent the saltwater intrusions from the Sedong River. But this Shanghai is very embedded for the migratory fishes such as walago, seabirds, macrovenchian rusambaji as well as the Hilsa. As we know, Hilsa spawn upstream of the Sedong River and the larvae and the juveniles migrates to the downstreams. The Shanghai area is on the way of the migratory fish species. The upstreams of the Shanghai is the nursery and feeding area for the Hilsa species. So the Shanghai is one of the barriers for the Hilsa migration as well as for other fish species. It trusts the physical environment for Hilsa fish, but there's no behavior embedded with this barrier. There's water in the upstreams, but the water in the downstream is depending on the tide. Due to these conditions, maybe fish behavior will be changed, but maybe the organic pesticides and the herbicides from the agricultural use are the behavior barrier for these fishes. For the fish migration, especially for the fish Hilsa, we have so many challenges. These are the lack of the technical knowledge, and we have very little knowledge about fish basics, and lack of skillful technicians, and the last important is the budgets to construct the affected fish basics. But now we begin know a little knowledge to construct for the fish basics because of with the technical and financial support by the ACIR and Chester University. So special thanks to the ACIR program and Chester University members to whom it may concern. Since the project is located at the Bago catchment, which areas is near the core of the Myanmar. At first, we did body identifications according to the guideline of Mekong River Commissions, Amasi and Yusuf Free Appraisal, which is we studied at Udutani, Northern Thailand in February 2018 and one-day short training and irrigation technology center, INTC at Bago. For this various survey, we collaborated with Chester University, Irrigation Water Restriction Management Department and Fauna and Flora International. There are so many barriers in Bago catchment and also there is no existing fishery in our country. After we did barrier identifications, we found the 29 barriers as shown in figure. Then we selected 4 barriers as the prioritizations. These are the Shanganstuks and War Township, Abjaslukskate and also War Townships, and Ngamoislukskate in East Tagon Township and the Sounduwia and Bago region. These areas are very important for fishery setters. And we can see here, these are the 4 warriors images in map. Among these warriors, Shanganstuke is selected to implement the first fish passage by the fish passage teams during the masterclass in Irrigation Technology Center at Bago region. Because of the Shanganstuke is more suitable for fish passage than other warriors, it is very wide range in fisheries. The Shanganstuke is 5 km far from the Sidon River, which is discharged into the Gulf of the Myanmar, and the Shanganstuke is located near the Shangan village on the Shangan streams. The Shangan stream is the tributary of the Sidon River, and also it is connected to the Bago Sidon Canal in Abja town. And total cases are 27, and the GPS location is as shown in picture. It was constructed in 2000 for the agricultural purpose and to prevent for the sedimentation from the Sidon River. The owner is the Irrigation and Water Transition Management Department. Then we survey the data collection for the fishery data for fishery designs. From the start of the project until the August 2020, we found 53 fish species and 32 fish families. We collected fishery data by using the fishing gears of cast net, push net, drift net, and beasings. And for this fishery data, Department of Fisheries collaborated with Fauna and Flora International and local fishery staffs and the local fishers. These are the fish species we found in Shanganstuke and the related water bodies. I show you with the measurement and the minimum fish size range. It has the 53 fish species, but all fish species we found are maybe 66 species. This is the different fish size range in our feed trips. The maximum fish species is Walango at 2. It is 1000 mm in size, and the larger size more than 1000 mm cannot observe in our trips, but they can be there. And the smallest size is 10 to 20 mm, such as Parabensis, Ranga, Bird species, and Pantisha species, something like that. This is all of fish species we found in Shangan area. Here has 66 fish species. Some species are combined with only one group, such as the Osteobroma species, and Pantisha species, and Macrogantha species, something like that. Hilsa, Pancasias, and Cebus are long-distance migratory species and the Dendroma species. Hilsa and Pancasias are Anatroma species and Barramundi and Macrobranchian Rusambaji are Catatroma species. For the solving challenges to the Shanganstuke, we are trying to discuss for the fishery designs. As we know, the fisheries are there are so many fish species at the Shangan area, so we have to choose the suitable fishery design not only for the fish Hilsa but also for the all fish species. To choose the fishery design, we collaborated with Irrigation and Water Transition Management Department, Fauna and Flora International, and Wildlife Conservation Society and Shango University, led by the Chester University team at Irrigation Technology Center, INTC, Bago region. As the mountain program, we choose the vertical slope fishery design. After choosing the fishery design, we need to do the implementation for the fishery. Why should we do the fishery here? That is because all the fish species are close and difficult to migrate between upstream and downstream at that area. The goal of the mountain plan is to create the eco-friendly irrigation structure. It must be not only It should be not only for the fish-friendly irrigation structure but also for the eco-friendly irrigation structures. And the objectives of the monitoring plan is to increase the fish populations and to construct the cost-effective fishery design. We can see here the fish species location with the Google Earth. Here's the upstreams and the other side is the downstreams. The flows show with the arrows. The upstream is the spawning ground and nursery ground for the most of the fishes such as Hilsa, barramundi and walago ngabird, something like that. It has also many smaller fishes. These smaller fishes are secondary food chain for the bigger fishes. Before the sluice gate construction, local fishers said that there are so many fishes and they can catch a lot of big fish as their commercial scale. So they can neglect for small fishes, but at present, not only the commercial fish, but also smaller fishes are disappear at that place. They cannot catch a lot of fishes just like before the sluice. That is one of the reasons why we choose here. This is the water level of Shangan sluice. As we see here, the maximum head water level and the minimum tail water levels are the same in May and June. And the tail water levels are higher than the head water level. That is because of the high tide and reverse flow. Initial flows at the onset of the rainy seasons are approximately 75 m³ per second and increase in the early wet seasons to over 200 m³ per second. This represents the flow range to optimize the fishery design. In the absence of the information on migration at low flows, we have chosen to design the fishery to operate at the minimum flow of 25 m³ per second. These are the demonstration fishery design. The fishery design we selected is double vertical slope fishery. Why do we choose that design? That is because we have multiple species. At first, we targeted the commercial fish species, but they are common and not abundant during our survey. But the smaller or medium fish species are so many in that water bodies. They are also important for local people for daily diets, such as fish paste, fish liquid, fermented fish, and prime fish. After installation the fishery, I believe the commercial fishes such as Hilsa will be re-abundant on that area. These are the detailed plans of fishery, and the fishery will be built and sheet-iron wall, precast concrete, buffers and concrete floor. It will have 2 control gates at both entrance and the exits. The layout is determined by the entrance location at the base of the sluice, which is migrating fish will be attracted to camp, and the exits located away from the sluice gates to ensure that fish migrating upstream are not swept back through the sluice. These 2 criteria are met. The fishery layout is flexible. Actually, as for me, it is difficult to see the engineering stem. And the problem of the fishery design is, at first, the design is larger size than we bid it. After investigation, the site and soil test, we have to change the fishery designs to get the required flow, and the size will be 68 meter in length and 7 meter in width and 5 meter depth. And also it was poor soil foundation because of the clay, and next factor is reverse flow because of the high tide from the sit-down river and transportation of the sediments at downstreams. Maybe the high tide is not the problem, but it can be the reverse flow. And the next one is the large plant debris at upstreams, such as the water hyacinths, Myanmar called beta. And we can see the water hyacinths beta at upstreams. Sedimentation are also a downstream with high tides. It is the most important challenges for the fishery. As the conclusions, this is the first fishery for Myanmar and it has so many challenges. We need to focus for the anadromous species like Hilsa as well as for the all species. Because all the fish species are very important for Myanmar people and very fundamental for their daily diet. And the fishery design should be make sure and need to save when it is constructed. Besides, we need to do the fishery survey at the both upstreams and downstream when we are operating the fishery. I believe the fishes are happy to migrate at the Shangan's fishery at that time, and the local fisher are as well. And based on the lesson learned from the Shanghai fishery, we go forward to another barriers to implement the coast-affected fisheries. These are the acknowledgements to whom it made concerns. This is the references for my assignment 2. Thank you so much for your kind attention.